What's good, everybody? Logan Stone here, and it is time for another workout training video in the dungeon. Today we're going to be hitting legs, specifically quad focus, but we're going to be hitting every muscle of the leg pretty much, so hamstrings, quad, and a little bit of calves, which I haven't been training that seriously most of my time training, but I'm doing them now. But anyways, we're going to be hitting some quads today and going real hard. I'm thinking for the workout today, we're going to start with some standing hamstring curls, then some super deep like tempo squats, which I'll show. They're really hard, but they're great. Then some leg press and a superset with split squats and sissy squats, and then some calves, just some calf raises. So that's what's going to be today. I'll probably do a narrated video where I'm going to be like doing my commentary and stuff. But yeah, guys, stay tuned, and I'll see ya. All right, so to begin out the workout, I'm obviously going to start with an isolation movement. Like I've said before, there's something I do with bodybuilding because it's a good way to get the muscle warmed up before you really try to destroy it with your big compound movements or whatever. And it's also just a good way to fill out the muscle before you really try to like break down all the little fibers in it. So I started out with some, I guess you'd call like single leg hamstring curls / kickbacks, because that's kind of what this machine is, I guess. It's this way you can kind of like do like a single leg hamstring curl, but usually I start out with a normal machine where I can hit like, where I'm like doing it seated so I can get a full stretch on the hamstrings before I do it. But in this situation, I was in my garage gym, so I couldn't really do that. So I'd use this machine instead. I did like 22 to 23 reps with each leg. Usually I try to go for a set of like 10 to 15. And then I do my second set where I use the same weight, then I do a double drop set. But in this situation, I couldn't really do that because this machine's kind of weird, and adding 10 pounds makes like infinitely heavier, no joke. So I think I used like 50 pounds for this machine. And if I went like slightly heavier, I could only do like 6. So I was like, I'll just go for more reps, I guess, especially since it's a first movement. I'm just trying to really get blood flowing in the muscle. So in this situation, yeah, I was able to kind of like make this modification, but I did like 22 of the 23 reps with each leg. I really tried to focus on the contraction at the back of the leg and get as much of a stretch as I could. I couldn't really do that with this machine too much because I'm not seated, but I did the best I could. And I think that's really important with bodybuilding or any kind of training. Just always do the best you can given the situation you have. Even though this wasn't what I normally would do, I was able to get a good workout in and get a great hamstring pump already going just based off this. But this is my first set for each leg. I did 22 of the 23 reps. And I honestly probably could have done more looking back. I could have gone at least 25, but I guess it's just another goal for me next time I'm back in my garage gym in Phoenix to try to get at least 25 reps. So, yeah, this is my first set. And then after that, I did my second set, which I did my double drop set with. All right, guys, so here is the second set, which I did a double drop set after, and then I did partials once I hit failure. So I think what I did was like I said before, I had like 50 pounds, and I hit 12 reps, and I dropped 10 pounds to 40, hit 6, then I went down to 30 and hit 7, and then I did like 8 to 10 partials at the end. So this, like I said, I'm not really getting the biggest range of motion, but it's like a good way to still hit your hamstrings. So I would say one alternative you could do that would honestly probably be better is doing a cable hamstring curl. It's actually I'm doing right now in my training at my gym in Flagstaff, but in my garage gym I don't have access, so this just kind of have to stick to. But also I would say try to make sure you have like something to hold on to for stability, because if you just try to do this when you're standing up randomly, you're going to topple over, and that ain't going to work out. So I basically had failure with this leg. And then one thing that's kind of rough about unilateral exercises is it's a little hard because like sometimes you have one side of your body that's stronger, so it's almost like a limiting factor. So I think for me, my left side is usually weaker, so my right side I usually feel like I have more reps in me, but I can't go more because I don't want to cause muscle imbalances. So I kind of just like have to just match whatever I hit on my first side. So I think that happened in this situation. Yeah. So I'm doing my other side now, and it feels easier, but I had to stop at the same amount of reps because I don't want to create muscle imbalances. that's just one thing you always have to kind of keep in mind is like with any exercise, you don't want to be creating muscle imbalances. You want to really make sure you're trying to use like the same form on each side. And I think some of us have genetic muscle imbalances. Like it's pretty common, especially in the biceps and just like some muscles in general. They don't always look the same. It's one issue I have with my pecs because I tore my left one years ago. And my shoulder tries to compensate, and my left shoulder is much more striated. I think it's probably because my left pec is torn, so I would probably say it's more developed and has a bit of a more 3D look. So straight off the main topic though. Just really try to like make sure you're not creating muscle imbalances, because that's one thing that's going to make training much harder. And to be honest, I'm just talking about this because I'm just filming a lot of the sets and I just need something to talk about. So, but yeah, so I think this is my last drop. As you guys can see though, once I hit failure, I start doing partials. And with this exercise, because the range of motion isn't that big, it's just like some pulses almost, but I'm still getting that like failure effect and trying to like tax the muscle when I'm in failure. I think it's good to know like hamstrings, like the machines, you can go hard on them. You don't want to go too heavy, but you want to just really try to go hard and get a good mind muscle connection. So that's it for the first movement. Now we're doing some squats. So the way I'm doing squats is I'm doing like super slow eccentrics, so negative portions of a lift, and fast concentrics, which is the part where you're coming up. So I'm trying to do like counts of like 3. And I go ask the grass too, or try to hit full knee flexion. I want to get like full, or at least the most possible stretch I can in the quads. One thing that's kind of hard about my squat rack in my garage gym is I hit the rack sometimes. It didn't really matter because I'm warming up with the bar. So yeah, I'm all starting out with the bar, and I'm going to do a lot of warm sets just because I want to show like my form. And also because I do a lot of warm-ups with squats with this kind of form with like light weights, because if I'm going to be stretching my muscle in this deep position, I really want to make sure it's warmed up and I'm ready to handle these heavier weights. Because if you try to like jump too quick with weights, you can really like cause injury. It's one of the biggest mistakes I see beginners do. They'll just literally pick up like an empty barbell, load it with weights, and try to lift it. And it's like, if you don't warm up a lot, you don't take any warm-up sets at all, you're missing out on 2 big things. One, you're increasing your risk of injury. You're much more likely to get injured and like tear muscle because your body is just shocked. You go from lifting nothing to lifting this heavy weight, so it's like a huge shock to your body. And 2, you're actually missing out on performance because you're not warmed up. And in turn, too, when you're warming up with an exercise with lighter sets, you're not only warming up the muscle, you're actually practicing your form. That way you're got dialed in before you do your working sets. So I think what I did here was I worked up to like 235. But what I did was I did bar 95, 135, and I started out with like 20 reps of the bar. And I think I did 12 with the 95. Now I'm doing like 135 for a set of 8, which is honestly a little on the higher side, but I think with bodybuilding, it's good to actually kind of create a little bit of muscle fatigue just so you can like really like fill the muscle out. But as you guys can see, I'm still going super deep, going down, 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 trying to hold it for a second, then exploding up. I wasn't really the best with my holds on this because what I said I'm trying to do is like do a 3-second eccentric, then a 1-second pause at the bottom, then explode up to the top and get a full quad contraction. But I think I was doing good on my eccentrics. So I was able to go heavier in weight the past couple weeks after this. This is actually like a month ago when I filmed it. So I guess it worked, obviously. But yeah, I think that's 5 with 185. And then I moved up to 205 after this. Yep. Wait, is that 205? I can't tell. Okay, yeah, that's 205. I just couldn't see the 10. I just threw the 10 over the 25. So one thing you'll notice too is the heavier I go, the less warm-up reps I do. So this is obvious. So really the goal of warming up is just to get your form down, get your muscles warmed up, your nervous system primed, just so you're able to do your top sets. So I usually do some higher rep warm-up sets with lighter weights. And then once I get heavier, I do very few reps, like once I get close to the working weight. So this is 2 plates. I have a rubber plate on, so that's why it looks kind of weird. I only did a double because I was trying to get my body accustomed to the heavier weights. It's only like 10 pounds less than what I did for my top set, which was 235 for 15 reps. So here I am, guys. I'm getting ready. I had like metal music playing, of course. That's what I listen to when I train. So I'm getting under the bar, I'm getting all pissed off, aggressive. And one thing I do is kind of like try to control my breathing, and then I channel my energy. It's just a thing. You have to find your own lifting rituals to do to get yourself in the zone. So yeah. And one thing you would pay attention to with me when I'm doing is I get under the bar. I have to brace my core, my entire abdominal wall. Get under it, kind of wedge my body, and then I rack it up. So you want to like make sure your abdominal wall is tight before you even like unrack the bar. That way you can get a strong unrack on the bar, and it just like comes off like nothing. So here I am going slow down. Yep, there you go. And it's kind of hard to tell how deep I'm going. I'm hitting like full knee. I'm hitting as good of knee flexion as I can. Definitely would count in the powerlifting competition, but as you guys see, when you're training quads, the trick with squats is you want to hit a full knee flexion, as much as you can at least, because that's how you create the most amount of stretch on your quads, and you want to overload it with bodybuilding. With powerlifting, you just want to hit depth. So you probably don't want to go as slow down as I'm going near powerlifting. You can go a little faster, but I think control over the weight too also makes it easier to lift heavy. So, because you're just like not like just jumping down, It's also going to make sure you're doing it safely. So it's weird. It feels like it's going to be harder, but it's actually almost easier for me because I have control over the weight. So here I am. Yep. I'm getting towards the end of the set. At this point, I'm like yelling at myself. I should start doing more raw workout videos just so I can show like how much in the zone I get. But like once I get to the later parts of squat sets, like once I get halfway through, it starts getting hard, but I know I have more in me, so I just try not to like pass out at that point. That's what makes it fun though, honestly, when you're training and like you almost passed out, but you hit the PR and pushed through, prevailed. That's when you know you're going hard. So, yeah. Last rep. Went up. I honestly probably have more in me. I'm going to go for PR. Yep, I just get on the ground. So 235 for 15 with 3-second negatives and a pause, ass to grass. So here's my back offset. So what I kind of do is I do like 50 pounds less. I'm supposed to not go up to full extension. I'm just trying to create constant tension. And the way it's supposed to work is I'm supposed to hit like sets of 12 if I can. And do set at 12, rest a minute and a half, do set at 12. And once I get to the point where I'm like not able to do 12, I stop. But I'm not at that point yet. So I'm just doing kind of like a back off set. And I think in this situation, I only got like 8 reps or something. I remember I didn't hit all 12 though. But now I can hit 12. It's just harder doing this. I'm not even supposed to like go up to the top. I just have to because like I get so fatigued. But this is one really good way to like hit squats with bodybuilding in a safe way is do super slow eccentrics and go ass to the grass if you can. Obviously, I have pretty good experience with squats because I powerlifted for years, but this is what I'm doing. So, yep. Now we're doing some leg press. All right, so what I did here is I did a rest pause set, not a Widowmaker set of 20 reps. So what this is supposed to be is like a Widowmaker set of 20 to 25 reps. Once I hit 25, I increase the weight. So usually I like having the platform a bit higher up because I can get my knees into better flexion and get a better range of motion. But the machine I have at home, I kind of can't because by the time I bring my legs up, like they're already hitting my rib cage, my stern, my whole like rib cage, and it just makes it hard to go past that because I don't want to like break a rib. There's actually a pro that did that, so like a pro bodybuilder. So I kind of just go as far as I can, and I don't go to like full lockout because I've seen that leg press video where someone like snap their knee. So I go to like pretty much lockout, but great way to fatigue the legs, and a great way to get a good pump on with your legs and just really push yourself. So here I am doing some split squats / lunges standing in place. So I look at this video now and realize I should have been a bit more upright, but at this point my quads just demolished from the rest of the workout, so it was hard nevertheless. I can't even go very heavy on these, but I superset 2 sets of this with leg extensions, and I didn't film each set, but yeah, so I'm doing this, and as you guys can see, I put the dumbbell down and drop it on my foot, and I just like flinch a bit, and I'm like, what the heck? I just walk around a bit, and I got straight back to the set. I think this really goes to show guys like how when I go into my training, I really take my set seriously. I don't just like give up because something small happens. It wasn't like I tore a muscle or like I smashed my foot. I just dropped it and it hurt a little bit. Luckily, it wasn't the pointy part of the dumbbell, because if it was, I probably would have had to like stop the set or take care of my toe. Would have been bleeding, but I didn't even get a bruise, so I just kept going. There's really the kind of like mindset you guys should have with your sets if you're really trying to push yourself. Just look at it as like something you gotta do, and if something small happens, just keep going. Just because you're tired or get fatigued, don't stop. Yeah, I'm struggling to keep my balance, as you guys can tell. Form kind of sucks on these, but at this point, I was just dead in the workout, so I'm getting stuff out of this workout that my quads are destroyed, and I made sure to not drop that one on my foot. So here are the leg extensions. So at this point, this like is a great way to really just like get a contraction in the quads, but this is the last part of my workout. I just supersetted, like I think I did like sets of 15 to 20 with this, and I supersetted that with my split squats. I didn't film any of the calf stuff I did. I just did some calf raises with like dumbbells, just holding dumbbells, but that's pretty much it for the workout, guys. Not very high volume, but really high intensity, and it's hard to do that with legs. So try this out if you really want to grow. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video.